Hey, what's going on, guys? So I wanted to share a unique perspective with you when you actually evaluate or look at your office. Maybe you're in a practice right now, you've been there for 15 years. Maybe you're just starting your own practice right now, and this is a new journey for you. Or maybe you're thinking of opening up an office. But I want you to really see a practice and what your role is in that office from this perspective. You got to think about it this way. Are you going to be the sandwich maker or are you going to be the owner? You see, the sandwich maker makes the sandwiches. He makes the sandwiches, he's up front, he's putting the lettuce on, putting the tomatoes on, selecting the bread, doing all that. As dentists, so many of us fall into that trap of constantly being the sandwich maker. You know, you go to a sandwich shop for lunch and the person that's making your sandwich doesn't own the sandwich shop. They don't own the place. Whereas as a dentist, most of the time, if you're quote unquote making the sandwiches or working on the teeth, addressing and being there for your patients, which is great, you're only working in the business and you're not working on the business. So I want you to think about it from a standpoint of, hey, I need to spend time doing the dentistry, making the sandwiches, and I also need to spend time working on the business. Because you can never scale your efforts if you're constantly making the sandwiches, right? And I know how hard it is. Patients want to see you. They want you to do the work. You said that, hey, I'm going to do this restoration for you. Or I'm going to do this crown, or I'm going to do your cleaning, whatever it is. But you have to really draw the line and say, hey, look, I need to focus more on leadership, systems, automation, team building, that flow that goes into your office, literally what I call flow and sequences. The flow that goes through your offices, where is that movement with anything that happens in your office? Procedures, what's the movement? What's the outcome? With your team, with billing, what is the movement? Where are we moving towards? What's the outcome? And the sequences are just those action items in that movement, right? So if you're the sandwich maker, you're constantly focused on the micro. If you're the owner, you're focused on how do I get this business systematized? How do I train my team? And that's really where your focus should be, because that's where you're going to be able to scale things to the next level. That's where you're going to be able to get time off. That's where you're going to be able to leave the practice and still have something tremendous that brings in revenue even when you're not there, right? And has an impact with your patients. So I want you to shift your perspective from being a sandwich maker, a person that just does the dentistry all the time, to someone that actually runs a business through systems, right? And that's the first thing you can do is focus on, hey, what systems need to be placed in there? Like, what are some of the things that I'm doing repeatedly, constantly, that I haven't documented, that I haven't captured on paper, that I haven't created a roadmap for doing? Whether it's that procedure, whether it's that billing certain items, certain procedures out, whether it's doing certain treatment, whether it's handling certain types of patients, have you documented that? And are you teaching your team off of that? That is key, right? So the two biggest tips I can give you is, hey, document everything you do, put it down into a roadmap, a flow, which says, here's how we start this, and here's how we end it. And then, number two, document those action items in there. Those items that say, hey, we're going to start here, we're going to go there, here's the next step, here's the next step. Because then anyone should be able to come into your practice, whether it's an associate, a different office manager, and they should have a layout of systems and protocols so that way they can run your practice for you. If it's an associate, how do you treatment plan? How do you diagnose? What are you looking for? What are you evaluating when you treatment plan and diagnose? What are you looking through with your loops that is making you say this? You have to train your team on your thought process, not just the things that you are getting done, but what's the thought process behind what you just did? You have to train your team on that. And I just had a doctor email me the other day. They said they took 45 days off this summer and things ran smoothly. To me, that tells me that, hey, they got their systems, processes, and their team dialed out. And I want you to be able to take as much time off as you want, whether it's this next month or this next season, whatever it is for you. And they said that they're focusing more on leadership because look, The only way you can really be there for your practice without even being there all the time is if you have your systems and your processes that are a part of what's in your mind. And the more of the business that you have out of your mind, the more of it that you've captured onto the paper, the more of it you can actually work and manage. If it's in your mind, then it's really just for me. If it's out of your mind, and if it's on paper, it's documented through videos, through protocol, through pictures, then that's the part of the business, and that's the chunk of the business that your team or your staff can handle for you. So start doing that. I hope this helped. A little bit of a message I want to get out to you through our phone calls that we do, through our webinars, through our training about, hey, don't be the sandwich maker all the time. I know you have to make the sandwiches. I know you got to do the dentistry, but you know what? Also work on the business. You never go into a sandwich shop and seeing the owner making the sandwiches. We have to balance that out. Sometimes we got to do the dentistry. A lot of times we got to do that. Other times we also have to say, hey, let's work on this business so we can grow this business, so we can have more impact, create more influence with our patients, and create more of an income doing this, okay? So I hope that helped. As always, have an incredible day and live inspired.